Hello and welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stuart Booth.
I'm Jack Luffman.
Caught me out there with your little camera.
You're harmless.
Completely bamboozled, even more than normal.
Right.
Yeah, out. Game over. Right, today's podcast, it's going to be, we're going to stay short this week. I think we should be alright with regards to time. We're going to look at Premiership because there has been, it's a bit of a roller coaster for you guys this week, isn't it?
I don't want to talk about it.
In many ways. Well, we'll start talking about another club. We'll end up back at Spurs anyway.
That's right.
We're going to announce a fantasy football winner because there was quite a lot of people triple captain this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I must have played mine. I can't even remember when.
I'm still holding on, and now what's happened? I should have played it, but that's another story. We're going to have a little coverage of the Brooke Khan fight. Quick update on that.
Yeah.
Things move then.
It's just
and also a big fight that's happening in Dubai in a couple of weeks' time, which has drawn a little bit of interest, shall we say.
Yeah,
and I want to ask you a few questions about that. But we'll start with our sporting week. Luffers, how did the old
bat and ball go? Good, 6 from 6 win. Very good performance actually.
If you don't win it, is that like the that's almost like City not winning the Premiership?
I mean, the thing is, like, what they're doing, what I think they should do, and what they do in Australian sport and American sport thing is like you have the league, and then the people who finish top get in Australia they call it the flag.
Well, they do that in the Super League.
Yeah, so you win the league, and then you go off into a playoff. So I don't think we could be caught, but they don't do it like that. The league is basically to finish top to then get. So we play fourth in a semi, and then second, third. So yeah, I mean, we have said that, you know, obviously now we made 2 semi-finals before Christmas that clearly want to go one better than that, and the form that we're showing, and that then I think there's no doubt we'd be disappointed if we didn't win
Invincible
it.
season.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice, but yeah, we had a very good performance. Bowled them out for or did we bowl them out or did we keep them down? 130 anyway. We're chasing 132, and we got them for 2 wickets, in 14 overs or something. So we got the bonus point win as well.
Were you one of them wickets?
I was, with the scores level.
And I believe you also had a little bit of a hissy fit. My spies tell me.
My spies, yeah.
My spies tell me.
I did. So basically, me and Brandon put on a good partnership for the second wicket, and he'd gone past 50. And I knew that I don't count, and there's no on our scoreboards. There's no individual batting scores. As I knew that I would probably be like 40 or thereabouts. Anyway, clearly the lads were trying to get a message to Brandon. I was trying to ignore it, that to try and obviously manipulate to get me some more runs to get to 54 before we win the game. Anyway, I said to Brandon, I said, look, just win the game. Don't matter. I said to you, don't mess with the game. Personal accolades mean nothing to me as a 41-year-old. Getting a 50, it would be nice, but whatever, win the game. Anyway, he hit a 4, I think we need 8 to hit a 4, then he got a 2 or something like that, and then we could have won another 2, and he was like, no. So I knew then, I'm like, Anyway, it made no difference to the shot I played. I wasn't even thinking, the guy bowled a long off, and I've gone to cut it, and just got top edge to the keeper. But yeah, I wasn't happy.
What were you on at that point?
46, so I needed to hit 4 to get it, so it's nobody's fault. It's just annoying because I think my point is that don't mess with the game. It's like you boys.
Just bringing my bottle in.
It was nothing to do with that.
Have you lost yours? Oh no, it's there. It's still there.
Found it, mate. Found it. But yeah, I wasn't particularly happy and drop kicked my helmet and a bit petulant. But my point is, it's a team game. Doesn't matter who gets the ones that gets the wickets. And don't mess with sport.
Says everybody that can't get 50.
What about you? You had a good day yesterday.
Yeah, it was a tough old game. So we played the Irish. The scoreline does not reflect the game whatsoever.
I know when you said it this morning, I was like, bosh.
Yeah, it looks like it's an absolute hammering. And anybody who was at the game will agree that it wasn't that time.
What, those 5,500 fans were there?
Yeah, well, to be fair, there was a decent turnout last night. So they brought, honestly, they had a goalkeeping coach, a warm-up coach, assistant coach, and a coach or a manager. And they had this massive setup, all these corns everywhere. I was giving Greeny a bit of grief. I was like, Greeny, they've got better corns than you. He loves the corns, doesn't Greeny? And then we set up, I managed to pass a late fitness test. I was able to walk, so I was in the team. I was struggling with a few ailments, quad and my Achilles were killing me. But we started off a little bit nervous. They came at us, and in my head, the ball's gone in for a corner, and the ball's come out to the lad, and it looks like he's going to shoot. So I'm going in to close him down. And last minute, it looks like he's changed his shot from a strike to a dink. And he's managed to dink it, but then he's also hooked it, so it's kind of gone curled away from goal. Lads running back post and scored. Like, what a great ball. And I'm like, no. I ran at him. I know exactly what he was not going for a cross. That was an attempt at a ding that went wrong. Anyway, it put them 1-0 up. I've had half a chance that I've hit wide, and then a couple of minutes later, the ball comes in from across, coming back post. He's done really well to get to the byline. Lob this ball to back post, running free header, bang, 1-1.
Oh, classic football.
And then it was I would say at that point we were playing some good football, and we had a lot of the ball, but in certain areas, and we were playing really well. Anyway, half time 1-1, second half comes out, and I'd say that possession wise was a lot stronger for them second half, but maybe about 10 minutes into the second half, the ball gets kicked forward, and the centre half looks like he's going to go up for it, and I realise he's misjudged it. So I don't do anything other than stand directly behind him, so he can't move backwards. So he's then realised he's misjudged it, goes to move backwards, and I've just planted myself in position waiting for the hit, and he's hit me, but I just kind of stood him still, and he's missed the ball. T's run on and scored. People would say it was clever. They were screaming for a foul, I could hit him in the back.
VAR.
But thankfully the referee saw exactly what I did, was just literally just get in position, just stand still and wait for him to hit me because he was coming backwards. Into there, doesn't move, T goes through, scores 2-1 up. And then they continue to press and press and press. And I'd say their possession was a lot from the halfway line to maybe our final third.
Yeah.
But then our goalkeeper never had a save to make. So there was a lot of ball in and around the box, and balls went into the box and came out, and they had, if they had corner count last night, it must have been plus 20. And then about the 80th minute, we break forward, T puts the ball in, diving header back post, boom, 3-1.
You was a dog net.
Yeah, and then I couldn't get up. The Achilles had gone, my legs were killing me, and I literally tried to stand up, and I just fell back to the floor. And I think at this point, because everybody then, the referee shouted head injury, because he must have thought I'd banged my head, because I just couldn't physically stand back up, and I collapsed back on the floor, and I lay on the floor. I just went, I'm done, I'm off. Anyway, 80th minute, 83 minutes, we do another break, 4-1. 90th minute, we break again. Lad gets pulled, penalty, 5-1.
Oh, so you went on the pitch for your hat trick?
I did, I was like, can I get on?
No.
But great result, an absolute statement to everybody else in the league, because they are a good team.
That puts you in a chance of winning it again, doesn't it?
Everything was in our hands anyway,
Yeah.
So now that means we were 3 points behind Irish with a game in hand. We're now level points with them with a game in hand. We win all our games in hand, I think we've got 3 points clear.
Oh, okay.
So from that stupid write-up at Christmas where it said all stars find themselves third from bottom.
When you played
When they played
3
games. Now suddenly it looks like a big game will be the Turkish team that we drew with. Which we should have beaten them. But yeah, good to get back on the score. Good to get on the score sheet.
And that's the fitness.
Oh, my legs are killing me, so I'm off to an ice bath this afternoon.
That's very nice.
I don't know if it is going to be nice or.
Have you ever had one before?
No.
Oh, I've had one there.
You've got to wear full gear though, haven't you?
Oh, well, mine was in Australia when we were playing. You just got dumped in a big wheelie bin.
I was going to say, was that not where they kept the beers?
Yeah, but oh my god, like that first thing, you have to just go for it. Yeah. You can't just slowly go in because you're like, oh, go in. And good looking finding it.
Yeah, oh no, everything in the spear. But yeah, we've got Safa next, who were third from bottom, but they've got a bit of a team together lately. And then Energize the week after, so second from bottom. So we've got, on paper, 2 easy fixtures, but I wouldn't say easy.
No. No fixtures easy in sports, Stuart.
That's correct. But yeah,
very good.
Only 3 points behind the league, 3 goals behind the league goal scorer.
Oh, there we go. So you stay on the pitch, you got that penalty.
I've reined him in. What was he? It was on 10. He was about 10 goals ahead of me about 3 or 4 games.
Well, they told you, we reckon the gaffer definitely listens to this podcast. I think he listens to me. He's made the change. You've gone on a minute, Stuart. You're up there. Well, I mean,
I'm surprised.
Maybe I should come in as director of football.
That's what I'm thinking. Danny Phillips needs to step out. You just heard him do a great rendition of the
I mean, I can't sing that well.
Yeah.
So fair play, Danny. But director of football, come and speak to me. I'm open to offers.
Okay, right. Well, what we'll do is we'll carry on with football. We'll dive out a little bit. We'll go to Brook versus Khan. I didn't watch the fight, but I did see the state of Khan at the end of it, and I saw the state of Brook, and it was almost like Brook used Khan as a punching bag.
Yeah, I think so. I've seen clips. Again, I didn't watch it. I don't know what middle of the night here on it.
Well, it was a fight that was.
And you were never interested in it.
No, it was a nothing fight.
But yeah, I read the report saying just battered him, I think. Albeit they reckon it was quite a strange stoppage that at a time when they could have stopped it earlier, and then, or at that point, they reckon they could have carried on. But yeah, that's surely got to be the end of Khan.
Yeah,
surely.
I think he's hinted at his exit interview is that that's potentially him. But then Ted Bizarrely is Brooks now calling out Eubank Jr.
Yeah, I know. Surely he'll get.
I'm like, that's a big ass, my friend.
I think that the Eubank Jr. and Nigel Benn Jr. different weight cut. They look animals in the ring to me. I know people say that they're not technically not great boxers, and they're probably. I think one of them they reckon's at the wrong weight, don't they? Yeah. But Mike, they look evil, don't they? And in the ring, they actually look like in fact out.
Well, interestingly enough, is that they reckon that Fury signed to fight Wilder now. Not Wilder.
No, he's fought. Yeah, he has fought Dillian White.
Yeah, Dillian
He's
White,
gone
not
off.
Wilder. Yeah, Dillian White. So that is literally the last hour of,
Because he's had to. He's got to defend his belt.
So he's now fighting him, and that's going to be a walkover. He'll just absolutely destroy him.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if that goes past 5 rounds. He just outboxed him.
It's weird, isn't it? So then Joshua, you think, has got to fight. He's going to.
He fights Usyk.
Yeah,
he has to go back and fight Usyk.
Yeah, and to reclaim the belt.
But I think at that point is what we all wanted was the Joshua Fury fight probably 2 years ago is now going to be potentially a year and a half in the offing.
Yeah, so I said
which
exactly.
is going to be at the end of
Both careers, really. Yeah, I did say that to someone prior to last week's fight, and it was Jay actually. Cricket were talking about it, and because I was saying that you said nothing fight because there's no belt on the line, it's end of the careers really, and I said exactly the same. I said my fear is that a fight, like you said, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, would have been could have been one of the best fights ever
in Wembley,
full house at Wembley, Battle of Britain. It looks like it will obviously happen at some point, but probably it could be for all the belts again.
Yeah.
It could be for nothing. It could just be a money match.
Good match.
Yeah.
And then there's also talk about Fury fighting an MMA fighters now, but just a joke. But while we're talking about boxing, so on the 16th of March, the heaviest
19th, isn't it?
Was it 19th? 16th and 19th. The heaviest heavyweight match ever to happen.
Yeah, 19th.
Is about to happen in Dubai at the tennis centre.
Yeah.
Tickets are relatively cheap.
Good. I see the VIP ones are decent.
Yeah. So Eddie Hall is fighting Thor. I'm not even going to be able to pronounce it.
Is it the guy from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, pretty much the big boys. Which will make an interesting spectacle because you've got two basically strongest men going head to head. Science tells you that having that much body mass and that much muscle mass and throwing that much power means shouldn't last more than a round. At the same time, physics also tells me if you get hit by somebody that's that strong, you ain't going to last more than a round. So we may be paying for a 1 round fight because there's a good chance that if neither's knocked out in the first round, that they will be gassed out by the second.
Yeah, because also you got thrown into the mix there. Now I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you've done it research, that it starts at around 10 o'clock UK time.
Oh no, it's earlier than that UK time. The ring walk for that fight, so there's going to be an undercard. The ring walk for the fight we want to go and watch is 9:15 PM UK time.
So that's 1:15 in the morning Dubai time.
Yeah, so I think the first fight or the gates open at 12, and then there's a fight on. There's maybe 2 undercards, and then.
Because what my point was going to be, okay, it's middle of the night, but we're a month further down the line. There could be that his temperatures would have got up, and there could be a bit of humidity time, which isn't going to help what you just said, is it?
Yeah, humidity has started to rise here, but the temperatures are still relatively low. So
particularly in the morning nights, it's still decent.
I think we're still talking probably at that time of night. It might be tops probably 12, 14s.
Yeah, it might be right.
Which should be okay for them, but
yeah,
it does make for an interesting spectacle.
I quite fancy it because it'll be good. like a
I'd
spectacle.
have to have a nap before it, though. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I was like that. Well, not like last week. We're gonna, my birthday brunch. We're gonna go to a different brunch that we do need to go to, but obviously,
Burlesque one.
Yeah, but Michelle.
Is that just a boys only one?
No, it'd be alright. Michelle had asked other people because there's a minimum spend. So we obviously, but that didn't start till 9:30 at night. It's good. It's 9:30 till 2 a.m.
Wow.
So it's a good old brunch, and I think the price is actually reasonable. Obviously, when you're inviting more people, it's unfair for them to. But yeah, but I said, 9:30. I'm definitely going to have like a kick before we go out there. But yeah, the boxing look, I fancy it. So.
Right. Well, we'll look back to last weekend, which was your birthday weekend.
Correct.
Good weekend.
Very good weekend. Very good weekend. Good brunch on Friday.
Nice little rub down on Saturday.
Good rub down on Saturday.
What about the massage?
Yeah, that was good too. Thank you, please. What did I do today? Went out had a meal at McCafferty's.
Oh yeah.
Very good. Another brunch for me to do. Guinness and Magners on that brunch, my friend. And then Sunday played cricket in the morning, and we had another roast at the Void on at Sunday lunch and a couple of sherbets to finish the weekend. That feels good. And of course on Saturday night, my mate Harry gave me a birthday present, didn't he? Not your lad. One of our own. Gave us
Harry Kane, yes. I'm like, all I can think of is Harry's not giving you COVID.
Almost.
Yeah, he tried to. So we'll go through the fixtures and then we'll have a little bit of a chat about Harry Kane.
Before we carry on, at the brunch, how good was that bloke, by the way? The performer.
He's by far the best singer / performer in Dubai.
He was brilliant.
So anybody that's never been to Dubai or even half been to Dubai and you've never yet done it, Jazz at Pizza Express.
JLT,
the guy that does the entertainment there is just another level. He's a one-man band. At one point, he was playing the trumpet.
Yeah.
Whilst he also beatboxed and then sang whilst playing the guitar. So he does the and then puts on a loop.
Yeah, he does.
And then that just continuously plays. And then he does a little bit of trumpet thing, and then puts that on a loop, so that comes in. Honestly, he just builds a song.
He's like the music. What was that song? I am the music man. I come from JLT.
Pizza Express.
What do I play? Everything, mate. Yes. He was class.
He was very good. Back
to football. Sorry.
Back to football. So the first game of the day from last week was West Ham versus Newcastle, which finished in a 1-1 draw. Which I think, when I watched that, West Ham. I watched parts of this game. So Newcastle, I would say, were a little bit more unlucky not to take 3 points on West Ham. Deserved to get the 3 points. Newcastle played some good football and made me think that if they continue to play that style of football for the rest of the season, they will be safe as houses.
They're going to get out of it now. I think they are.
And then we saw Arsenal beat Brentford 2-1, with Brentford getting a last-minute goal, which resulted in new buy coffees.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Brentford.
Brilliant. Thanks, Brentford.
All down to Arsenal again.
I think Arsenal did it deliberately.
Probably. Villa shockingly lost at home to Watford, which... It's not a case of putting pressure on Stevie G at this time, but I think every new manager goes through a blip. It's what happens in the next upcoming games will determine what type of manager he's going to be. I
think when new managers go in, and I think particularly at clubs that are struggling, and not necessarily struggling relegation, but to find an identity or to get to that next level, I think what happens is, and you'll maybe know more because you've maybe experienced at the level you played at, is that players for that first month, 6 weeks, time, up the game.
Yeah.
And then, so there's competition. So I'm guessing that you guys see training, it's more competitive, it's quicker, whatever. And then when players suddenly say, well, actually, I'm still not part of this manager's plans, or a player gets bombed who wasn't part of a plan, not anymore, all that kind of thing, I think then that dip comes a bit. And it seems that might have happened at Villa. Because they started off really well, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a fair comment, that. It could well happen. And then Burnley, that looked dead and buried, seems to be giving themselves half a chance here. Destroying Brighton at home, and I don't think anybody would have seen that coming.
No.
Brighton playing some nice football, Burnley not. Big man up front scored a great goal, and they got an assist.
Weghorst.
He
was handful. to the lads as well.
Yeah, and then Chelsea got almost a last-minute winner at Crystal Palace to win 1-0. Liverpool, I wouldn't say cruised in the first half because I know it's had a few chances which, unlike Liverpool, but eventually kind of moved into another gear and then comfortably won 3-1.
With a bit of a second string to a degree.
Yeah, I'd say
in some areas anyway.
It was good to see Joe Gomez back playing.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he had a decent game, even though it's in his unfamiliar right back position.
Yeah.
And it was his strong run and holding people off that led to one of the goals in the second half.
I've always rated him. I think he's a good player, man.
Yeah, just unfortunately, just found himself in a position where he's probably not as strong as a centre back. Right back wise, he's probably a better defender, but just doesn't offer that ability.
He's almost like he needs to get to a club that play three at the back, play on that right side of the centre half role.
Yeah. Southampton go and beat Everton, which I did mention last week, is that I think Everton, the atmosphere at Goodison Park is going to get them through, but away from home, they look rubbish. And Southampton exposed that. And then the game of the night, and I did text because we were in a group saying, come on Spurs, and me and Matty were both Spurs fans that night, just texting you Spurs. And I can honestly say, I would probably say that's the best I've seen Harry Kane play in a long time. His ability to get on the ball, link up play, looked a threat going forward, was unlucky not to get the goal that would have put you up 3-1 up because they brought it back for the offside in the half hour, didn't they? Which looked like Harry Kane of old. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I would say he's probably been building up that performance for the last, probably since Conte's been there, if we're truly honest. I think we said before, like a number of the England players, I think he had a bit of a hangover from the Euros and everything else around him. But he hadn't been playing that bad all year, just not scoring the goals. And when you're the headline man, that's what happens, isn't it? But he was brilliant, wasn't he? Yeah. Quite frankly, he was brilliant. And to be fair, I thought that, a bit like you were saying with your game earlier, Man City clearly dominated possession of the ball, clearly had some chances, but not loads.
Yeah.
Did we deserve to win? I don't know, but we certainly looked dangerous on the counter-attack when we played our game, and ultimately quality won over in the end. But I think it highlighted Man City is what I said before, that sometimes they just overplay, and I think it highlighted it. It was perfect little story for the journalist. The fact they were saying, weren't they, that the man that they wanted to buy would have been the man that probably would have won the game against Spurs, because. Yeah. In those games like that, they're missing a striker. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise.
I think when you look at the two teams, City probably are a little bit more, maybe I wouldn't say, let's say kinder on the eye when you watch them play. They're very nice, intricate players to a certain degree. And Liverpool a little bit more jugular, aren't they?
Yeah,
we'll go ahead. We'll be more direct. We're incisive, but we're quick at it. We tend not to play around teams, it seems to be. We'll go here, pop, move, bang, and then it's something at the end of it.
I mean, it's like I say, different ways to skin a cat, isn't it? And Man City are very pleasant on the eye, as Liverpool are when they're caring. But I think Liverpool often can look quite open, because if they go bang, 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 they get caught. But like I said before, that's why his midfield players are just like the blockers almost, aren't they?
Yeah.
Disrupt play. But from a Spurs point of view, what a result. But didn't change things.
I was going to say,
for me.
We'll hold on to the next result in a second. Then we went to Sunday, and an intriguing game.
I'm going to ask you a question about this guy in a minute.
And I know it's coming. Leeds 2, Manchester United 4. United cruising at 2-0. Then 3 minutes later, drawing 2-2, and then end up losing 4-2. Ended up getting heated towards the end with a few naughty tackles. I think the weather didn't help with the fact that people sliding in. But intriguing in terms of the fact that I didn't think Leeds went for United enough. And I don't think Dan James is an out-and-out striker. And if they don't have Patrick Bamford, who do they have? And Rafinha on the bench?
I know you probably talk about your boys' result against them in a bit. I just think that...
Right, have you played Leeds?
I just think that, and I've always said this last year, that man Bielsa and the way they play is completely and utterly overrated. It's there's no difference in that. It's completely overrated. That it's hey-ho, gung-ho football. That I was quite entertained to watch beginning last year, because we haven't probably seen anything like that before. he's not got the players to play. I didn't think he had the players to play it last year at that level. He's certainly not got the players to play it this season with. And okay, he's been unfortunate with injuries and things like that. There's always mitigating circumstances. But surely a good coach says, look, I've not got the players to fit that. We've just got to change a little bit for a period of time. Or the fact that I think they could go down. I think that because they're conceding goals hand over fist and they're so open, it's ridiculous. It's like watching schoolboy football.
Yeah.
I saw bits of your game against them in midweek because I stayed up. And he's kicked off slightly later than Spurs. Every time Liverpool went forward, they could have scored.
Yeah.
And I just think if he didn't have this reputation, if he was an English coach, he'd have been sacked by now 100%.
I think you're a bit harsh. I think if we refer to that league table we looked at last week, where the value of the squad in comparison to points gained, Leeds were top of it.
Yeah.
Based upon the fact that he overachieved the first season.
Yeah,
he even overachieved the fact that they finished 10th. Leeds United's team is nothing stronger than a bottom 5 side. And then when you lose Patrick Bamford, the only other real player that's of any quality is Rafinha.
Yeah, I don't know.
The rest of the players, the goalkeeper who looks 12, who's got the deepest voice I've ever come across, is okay. The back line is nothing. Ireland's not all that.
Come on.
Yeah, the back two, not really. And Aloisi, who I thought wasn't a bad left back, who I didn't particularly like anyway, has gone.
Yeah.
And then you go across the midfield and Click and Cock that are in there are all right, but nothing amazing. I just think it's an average team.
Phillips is just okay.
And he's not even been playing, has he? So you've got an average team with potentially. He didn't start any of his best players in the last game, and I'd say 2 of his best 3 are injured.
Mitigating circumstances, yeah, and I think he did overachieve last year. But that's my point: is that he's not. Surely you've got to adapt, because if he carries on playing like this, and yes, all right, he overachieved last year, and yes, hasn't been back to. I don't know what money Leeds and Leeds United haven't got. They've obviously not got a lot because they've not bought anything, have they? But he plays like this, they'll go down. But what for me, he's just banking on the fact that they'll have a bonus game. So I don't know. Well, probably, I think we play Stills this weekend, so you might be thinking there's Leeds 3 points.
There,
and I might be thinking, well, I just think that people are on a bandwagon that they shouldn't be on. I don't rate
them, and I think they are relegation fighting team. I just don't think they're bad enough to go down. And I think his style of football will turn over a few teams and get the results when least expected. Wolves beat Leicester, and it's another loss to Brendan Rodgers, and they drop ever lower in the Premier League. Must have half an eye on not being drawn into.
That's another one, isn't it? Yeah, I think they're 20. I think they're 7 points above relegation.
Meanwhile, Wolves are above you boys.
Yeah, and stayed above them after the midweek fixtures. Yeah.
So there is quite a gap between you and the team below.
Yeah.
And you guys are all quite in a close cluster heading towards.
So I think even after midweek, we're 7 points behind Man United with 2 games in hand.
Yeah. And then we had Wednesday night, which threw up all sorts of. I'm going to say surprising results, because nobody preempted after Spurs beating City 3-2 would they then go to Turf Moor and lose 1-0.
That's why I stayed up, because you know as well as I do, babe, at the minute, 4-hour gap is just like, it's a killer, isn't it? Yeah. And because they played well at the weekend, I was like, I probably would have stayed up for half time anyway. I thought, do you know what, come on, let's watch the boys. It was frustrating. I'll be honest, they didn't play as bad as they did against Wolves or Southampton the previous 2 games they'd lost. It was just, I think I said to you, just one of those nights at Burnley where the weather held, the crowd were up for it. Burnley rode their luck. The Spurs did as well, don't we? Right? It was. I think it showed that actually Spurs aren't that much better than a side like Burnley. It's just that we've got some individuals who can make a difference. It was a good header. I think the defender could do a little bit better.
Yeah, I think because I said this to you the other day, I thought if he gets across him a little bit more, just to make it a little bit harder, because he doesn't go in front of him, he's almost to the side.
And he doesn't really jump either.
If he steps across him, and if he then goes up top and wins it, he's also got the element of getting a free kick.
Yeah, exactly. So disappointing, there's no doubt. But I think I was reading somewhere, and actually, Burnley played very well. The guy Wagos looks a handful. I'm not saying he looks a good player.
6'6",
he's a handful. I tell you, he did play well. I think he's at O'Neill, is it? No, not O'Neill. McNeil.
McNeil, yeah, he's hit and miss.
But what he did the other night is what the most frustrating thing is. He crossed the ball. We had 2 good crosses with all the possession in the box. Son from a free kick that Kane had a good header and hit the bar, and the other one was even better ball was by Kane himself, where he almost physically got hold of Emerson, got him out of the way, and then picked the ball up. But then obviously when he's doing that, there's nobody in the box. So frustrating, but very Spursy.
Oh,
yes. It doesn't surprise me. And honestly, anything can happen in the end and now and end of the season. Conte could walk out tomorrow. He could be here for 3 years. We could finish 4th. We could finish 10th.
Well,
anything can happen.
Watch this space. I'll tell you what we'll do is next week we'll have a look at the league table in a bit more detail as we're coming in towards
nitty gritty, yeah.
And then a surprise result considering Watford had picked up the points at the weekend. Watford won, Crystal Palace 4. What went 1-1?
Conor Gallagher got 2 goals in there.
I think sharp touches in the box for his first one. He's a highly rated, but the problem is Chelsea boy, where's he going to go?
He absolutely right because they're not going to play him in there. Look at the history of how many.
Loftus-Cheek was a prime example, wasn't he? This kid that came out, then he had to go out on loan for a bit, then came back, couldn't quite get in, back out on loan.
Yeah,
and even now he's not.
Hudson-Odoi was the same.
Yeah. So,
get out, Connor.
Bit of advice when you listen to us, Connor. Remember us.
Harvey Barnes did.
Yeah, and then Liverpool 6. Yeah, 6. Leeds 0. Good shot.
But it
straight off the
top 6 biggest. But it tell you what it does do. We didn't actually mention we talk about Man City. It's game on, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say this to you is. City are still the front runners for me. Simply because Liverpool have put this run together. To go from now to the end of the season winning every single game is very, very difficult. You're expecting Liverpool will have to have at least 1, if not 2 slip-ups between now and the end of the season. Therefore, that puts City in that potential, especially when they've just had a slip-up, to then maybe pick up and go on a run that they can do. The interesting game will be at Etihad.
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever happens, obviously Liverpool have to beat them there. Yeah. I think if they beat them there, and
our goal difference is now.
Yeah, there might still be an area where they could probably slip up because Man City might slip up again. But I think if they lose there, there's no chance. I think
it just makes. I think,
but it makes it a bit more interesting.
Regardless if you're a Liverpool fan, City fan, or a Chelsea or an Arsenal fan, it just makes it a little bit more interesting. The fact that City aren't just going to walk with it now.
I think that's the thing that. Bit disappointed with Chelsea's thing, sort of dipped because we said at the beginning, didn't we? We thought it could be a 3-horse race. Imagine if they were in with a shout. There's a bit of a race on for the final Champions League spot.
Well, Arsenal.
There's definitely a relegation battle going on.
Arsenal win their games in hand. They're either level with or go above Chelsea. Yeah. So Chelsea could actually get drawn into that 4th place.
Yeah, I said that a few weeks ago. I think at that time there was Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United, and maybe even West Ham that all 4 of them could have superseded Chelsea, but.
Yeah, and the last game of this week was Arsenal, we just mentioned, who beat Wolves 2-1. I like Arsenal, I like what he's done, they've given him a bit of time, he's starting to get the team together. I just worry about lack of depth.
I just said to Renel, because Renel saw me yesterday and said, obviously said I was avoiding you after the weekend, but then soon found me yesterday.
Right.
And then I saw him today, he said it was worth staying up for it in the end. I said exactly the same to him, I said, but the problem is if you get injury suspensions. And he said exactly the same. They basically only had 2 recognised first-team players on the bench last night, and that was Eddie Nketiah and Pepe. And the rest of them were, well, I'm assuming, academy players or whatever. So that's going to bite them in the backside a little bit. But I think if part of a long-term plan, there is a plan there to fill those gaps in.
Well, I think that's it. He's cleared out the driftwood, hasn't he, now? So then he's left spaces. I just thought that they might have gone 1 in, 1 out type of thing just to keep themselves a bit of cover on. But if it works, then it's a masterstroke. If it doesn't, he's an idiot.
Yeah, and I guess that if they can get Europa League football, not the conference football, they'll probably be happy with that for next year.
Right, before we disappear, we remember it was a short one today, even though we're still on 35 minutes. Fantasy football winner is Gwyn, who's currently top of the league, who made the decision to triple captain Salah, which turned out to be a good one. He's now on a total of 1,772 points.
Very good.
Booth is on 1,577 points, so in a respectable 14th position. And let's go all the way.
Did we have a bet on this, didn't we?
All the way down the table. I can't remember what was the bet.
Did I have to wear a Liverpool shirt?
Possibly. Have you got a book? Are you actually?
I'm in the
Not
top
really.
50s, I think.
You're not in the top 50s, are you? Oh, there we go. Big Lefties is on £1,312.
Oh, no,
Got a respectable 101 though. And you've gone past Jill,
Yeah, got a ton.
who doesn't even do a team anymore. But I had Salah as captain, which Smith Rowe, decent points there.
Yeah.
But yes,
Good effort.
End of the day, Jack.